Hey guys, welcome back to What the Hunt. This is another episode. We're going to do blind safety. How you would properly handle a firearm in a blind and how you'd get in and out of blinds with your gun to go retrieve your birds.
This also goes a little bit hand in hand with etiquette for properly hunting with other people in the blind. If you haven't hunted with other people in the blind, there's certain things that you should maybe know that you do and don't do just out of respect. Okay, this is one way that you can get out of the blind or in the blind from the outside. What I would do is I would stand up, grab onto the center of my barrel, make sure that your gun's sitting at an angle that it's not pointing at your face when you stand up. So it's kind of pointing out that way. When you get out, hold on to that gun barrel until you've cleared the blind. Then I'll go. It's just a thing because it's very easy to kick, trip over it, snag on this with your boot, or maybe even snag your foot on the blind and shake the whole blind and then your gun falls out. This blind just so happened to come with these nice gun holders. Most blinds do not come with something like this. They're starting to now that that's kind of a newer trend, which is a great thing. But if they don't have something, try to make something or find something that will work on your blind to hold your gun. Highly recommend it.
One thing we did find out about these holders though also is you want to make sure they're tight, because they do this spin thing like this, so they tighten like that. But I just found out when I was just putting my gun in, this one wasn't tight and it fell over. So you want to make sure, like when you right before you start the hunt, you make sure that these are tight and in there good.
Another way you can do it is if like Hammond here is trying to get out of the blind, let's say he's getting out of one side or the other, he can have the person next to him since he's in the middle and it'd be hard for him to hold on to it and get around. Let's say if he's going to come out this way, I'd stand up, hold his gun, step forward, and then he's got a clear walking lane to get out. Okay, now the time has come. You've got birds working in and somebody's calling the shots. This is the etiquette part. You're going to have your head down while the person that's calling the shots is watching for the birds. Once they say, get ready, you start to peek a little bit. Then you can then take your gun off of safe if it's in both hands firmly. After he says take them, cut them, shoot them, whatever, then stand up, make sure you have good footing, go ahead and take your shots.
Get ready. Take them.
Step after that, which is hopefully an obvious one if you took any sort of hunter safety, gun goes back on safe first while it's still in your hands. What I also would recommend, this isn't really necessary, but if you want to go the extra mile, I would. You're going to open up your action, you're going to place a shell in there sideways. Brass sticking out is kind of what I like to do. And then you're going to slowly close your bolt onto that shell. That way that you don't have anything in the chamber, nothing can happen that way.
So next we're going to talk about intersecting lanes of fire for your position in the blind. So Devin over here, he's on the left outside, or you were right if you're watching. Your lane of his fire is going to be at an angle from there, and it will intersect to where mine comes in. If you're in the middle of it, just a three-man blind like this one, you have full frontal coverage. It's on you to be watching for all the birds that are going to be coming in from the distance. And if it's Randy's, it's just the same as Devin's, just opposite. Out and wide.
One thing you have to be careful for when you're in a blind situation like this is your barrels touching each other. If you get a good group of birds, Hammond might be thinking that he's going to shoot this way, and I might be thinking that I'm going to shoot that way, and our guns could possibly hit each other or possibly shoot each other. So you have to be mindful of your lanes like that.
You always want to make sure you leave roughly like a 2-inch gap on what the shooting lane is going to be, so that way you have enough clearance, so that way no one shoots a barrel or have shells collide.
Also, if I was to take my gun and I was to pull it up like this and shoot across Randy, not only could I possibly injure somebody, I definitely just hurt both of their eardrums.
Yes.
Okay, take them.
Now you notice how we had one person push up on the blind. This is a flip top blind. So unlike an A-frame blind, you can't have everybody kind of come up at once. You can, but it's safer to have one guy push the blind up because then these guys have full control of their guns and you're not trying to hurry up and push the blind up, grab your gun. That's how accidents happen.
Also, another thing that could happen if you're used to hunting out of an A-frame and you go to something like this, something I noticed is that I want to bring my gun up first and then it gets caught in this netting as I'm coming up, which that's not, I wouldn't say that's really too bad of a dangerous situation. Maybe it is, but it's more of a, like you can't shoot that way.
Yep. And unlike the other A-frame blind, this one does come with gun holders, but we don't currently have them on it. So we're going to kind of demonstrate different ways that you guys can put your guns in a blind that doesn't have gun holders safely.
So the way I like to rest my shotguns when I'm going to be sitting in a blind for a while, because you don't want to hold your shotgun the whole time, no one does, plus you want to eat your snacks, whatever you're going to do. Well, to not worry about your shotgun falling over and maybe misfiring, my favorite method, or I should just say preferred, is to find your slots here where they all latch together and just barely stick the barrel out. That way you're not stuck on the metal. It's not going to slide around and potentially fall over when you're not paying attention. It's nice and held, and it's easy to grab it when you need to.
And I can safely open up this door, walk out after I undo these straps, and look at the gun. Nothing happens. It's safely in place. Whoever's sitting in the middle, that might become a problem. Yeah, you're going to have to hold on to your gun or hand it to somebody.
Another way, if you're not preferred to rest it up in a pocket, or maybe your blind doesn't have a pocket you can do that with, about your most simple other way is contact on contact. You don't want your dog to come into the blind, step on it. You don't want your buddy to come into the blind or kick your gun if you have it laying down. So it's just simple. Between your legs, good footing, lay it with the barrel facing out behind you. And that way you can just swing your arm around, you're able to do it. And now you got a brace for it, and you can still do whatever you want to do.
Now we're going to go on to layout blinds. I feel like it's pretty easy to not be very safe in a layout blind, just because it's a lot of up and down and moving around with your gun in between action. So what I'm going to do, let's just say I went and retrieved some birds and I have to get back in my blind. My gun is going to be on my shooting hand side facing back the other direction on safety. I'm going to get in from the opposite side of my gun every single time. Then I'm not tripping over it. I'm also not getting mud on my gun, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to get in from this side, get myself situated. You know, I don't know if you want to have your doors open or not. Doesn't really matter to me. Get laid down in a comfortable position. Try to pick up your gun with both hands if you can. Point it up in the air. What I like to do, kind of when I lay out hunt, is I like to get my gun inside, cover up. And this is after nobody else is downrange, everybody's back behind, because your gun's pointing forward. And you want to point it forward. You don't want to point it to side, anything like that, because you could very easily have other people hunting with you and laying right next to you. So I'm going to get in the blind like this, and as you can tell, with the camo gun, you can't really see it sticking out. You'd probably be okay with the black gun too, but that's for another story. Get covered up like this, and my hands are, while I'm underneath here, my hands are both just like this, no finger on the trigger obviously. So when I'm coming up, you're gonna wait for the same thing. Either you're hunting by yourself or with other people, you're waiting for the get ready. Go ahead and take your gun off safe. After, this is where it changes, after you pop the blind doors open, then take it off safe and shoot. Once they say take them, cut them, kill them, whatever. Then when you're gonna get out, right back over here, lay it down, barrel facing backwards. Get out on this side of the blind. Anytime you're getting up out of a blind or whatever, walking away from your blind, you can take your gun with you also. That's always a really safe way, and it helps if you get birds that come in or if you have to polish one off, whatever.
Yep, and then so this is like just the basic how you would operate safely in a blind. So don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. We need more subscribers to get bigger and show you more stuff. And don't have too much fun, guys.
pod.